So Hannah, I actually had an opportunity to go to the draft. So that was
Yes.
fun. I had, had my gear on and I was like, I'm gonna be the official fan for PWHL Seattle when I was there. And you looked great, by the way. Can I
Yeah.
say, look at you.
Thank you so much.
Talk about what that felt like for you. Did you know you were gonna did you feel like you were gonna go early in the draft? Like what were you thinking when you were there?
Yeah, I really had no idea of what kind of team I would go to. I actually didn't talk to Seattle, any of the staff beforehand, so
Oh,
being drafted by Seattle was a complete shock. But I kind of had an idea from talking to other teams that I might go pretty high for a goaltender, and so I was just kind of waiting, seeing what team would be the first to pick me up, and happened to be Seattle, and I couldn't be more excited.
I was super enthused. I actually was hoping that someone had caught me on camera when you were picked second because I was there and I kept saying from the very beginning, I was like, we need to pick a goaltender, and I wanted it to be you. And
Oh
there was
my
a couple of
gosh.
other media folks there, journalists there that came up to talk to me after the first round. And he was like, well, who do you think is going to go to the second round? I was like, it has to be Hannah. I want a goaltender. He was like, they don't pick goaltenders this early. And then we proved him wrong. So, so as soon as you were saying, I was hollering and like, oh my God, I was right. And he looked at me, he was like, so that was just really, it was just really cool to see that you were chosen one and two that you broke the stereotype of not having a goaltender be picked that early.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear, and I'm happy to have proved him wrong for you, and I'm glad it all worked out, and I'm looking forward to getting started in Seattle.
So I know that they took talk about that process. So once you were on the stage, then I know they took you guys off to the side and there was like some other activations happening over there and photos. Talk through that process. What was that like once you get off the stage?
It was definitely a bit of a whirlwind the whole night, especially after getting picked. So I walked backstage, and the first person I saw was Jenna Buglioni, and she gave me a huge hug. We've known each other from playing at different national team camps together. So that was a nice relief to see a familiar face. And she was super excited that we're going to be teammates. And then after that, like you mentioned, we had a bunch of different media obligations, a couple interviews and stuff, and I felt like I was just running around until I was able to go back to the table and see my parents, which was super awesome to finally get to chat with them and debrief about everything that went down.
I know Rachel's chomping at the bit. Go for it, girl.
I was just taken in the story. No, that's awesome. So I was not lucky enough to be at the draft, but it's really interesting to hear about. So other than like, obviously being selected and everything, were there other parts of the draft that were fun or enjoyable? Were you stressed out? Or like what else did you enjoy about being in Ottawa there for the draft?
I think a lot of the anticipation leading up to the actual draft was the most stressful part.
Mhm.
But once we were on site, it was a little bit of a sigh of relief. There was so many familiar faces of
Yeah.
girls that I've grown up playing with or against across the NCAA for the most part. So having that familiar aspect was definitely a little bit less stressful once I got there, and just seeing how many fans were able to come out and support the league was really awesome. Getting to meet lots of people and sign lots of autographs. It was just an unbelievable night, and I think the PWHL did a great job hosting us.
I I was gonna say I agree. It's like I've been to other larger events before, and I think just all the technology and stuff that was involved with that draft was like flawless. So it looks so professional. I do
Yeah.
want to go back to something you said earlier, though. You were talking about, you didn't know it was that Seattle was going to pretty much be the team. You wasn't talking to them or anything like that, but then now it kind of feels like home. And I was just found this image online the other day, and it's like, tell us about this. Like I just found out that, so all of you were captains at one point and now you're on the same team. What's that like?
Yeah, it's super exciting to be reunited with some fellow Colgate alums. I actually never had the chance to play with Jessie. She graduated before me, so looking forward to playing with her. She's someone that we kind of grew up in the same area, so I've been able to make a connection there and know her quite well. And she's just an awesome player in person. And then being reunited with Danny again, who I was able to play with for 3 years while I was at Colgate. I'm excited to be back with them and looking forward to the year.
Awesome.
Yeah, you've mentioned a couple times now, like seeing familiar faces at the draft. So it sounds like even at the professional level, the women's hockey community is pretty interconnected and stays pretty tight.
Yeah, I think that's just the hockey community in general, whether it's on the men's or women's side. I think everyone always kind of knows a friend of a friend and everyone's interconnected. So being able to play at the professional level is no different. And I think we've all bumped shoulders at one point or another.